Hello and good morning. Welcome to another ramble. What was I thinking about? There are several things that came to mind, and once I pressed record, it just just exited my brain. This is normal. This is a normal occurrence. That's why, like a lot of times, I don't know if you guys are the same way. Like if I'm having a conversation, although I am an active and good listener. A lot of times, like while somebody is talking to me, like my brain is not only take inputting their information, but it's also like how do I say? Not calculating, but like systematically um, seeing different angles to the subject matter as the person is talking, and like I'll get like a bunch of like downloads and insights and hits. And like for me, it's like I sometimes have to interrupt the people from speaking, and I'll literally be like, "Hey, man, um, can I say something before I lose it?" And then some people will be like, "Yeah," and other people will be like, "No, no, no, I gotta keep talking." And so they'll keep talking. By the time like they're finished talking, like that hit is gone. Yeah, it's really strange. I'll get hits. Like the thing is, it's hard for me to like hold on to the hits, and that's why I have a tendency to want to write things down. I've always, I've always been kind of like that since I was a child, though. Like in previous videos, I told you like I was reading books before I was a year old. I was like, my mom said I was 8 months old. I was reading books, and I was like walking, and for as long as I can remember, I loved like information consumption, and also like categorizing and organizing the information like externally and internally. But then it's just like I consumed so much information in such a small expanse of time, that I just kind of like tune out of my mind now because it's like overloaded. And because I tune out of my mind, um, I guess I subconsciously receive information instead of like consciously pulling it. Like I could literally just, it's easiest for me to just like not think. And then I'll get like the download or the hit or the whatever, the message like in my absent mindedness. Because I feel like if I wasn't absent minded, I would overload my system and make myself crazy with like trying to like I don't know, like, trying to like I don't know, but like for me, it's like I'm always trying to like put out fires or like like interfere with the process. And so for me, being absent-minded is the best way to be because then I don't have the knee-jerk reaction to interfere and reconfigure things. Which and there's so many things to reconfigure around me that I just that would just drive me a little crazy. Yeah, and what I mean by crazy is I would be overwhelmed, I would be stressed, I would be tense, and I wouldn't be able to operate from a space that is calm and peaceful. I wouldn't be able to chill. And I think I put myself in that position before for work, and I had panic attacks. Let me tell you, if you haven't had panic attacks, I do not wish that upon you because it was the worst. And when I say panic attacks, some people told me like their panic attacks would last like I don't know, a few minutes, a few minutes. Mine lasts the longest like stretch of panic attack for me lasted over 18 hours. Just imagine just nonstop, like not finding any peace or any like way of like, yeah, it was crazy. And I certainly don't want to put myself in a position like that again. So absent mindedness works for me. It works for me. People might think I'm dumb, but then I'm like looking at them stressed out ah, and I'm like, okay, so you think I'm dumb for being relaxed and calm and even keeled and able to see things clearly and function in flow? Like, how is that crazy? Like, I feel like you gotta flip the script, buddy. You gotta flip the script, buddy. Like, look at you. Look at you're causing chaos. You're like, like freaking out. You're like tense. You're like reactive to everything. Like that's pretty crazy to me, if you ask me. Hmm. Now flip the script, guys. Flip the script always. Um. Yeah. What else was I gonna say? Oh, so I think I have mentioned briefly like the new year. Like I started it off peacefully. I awoke peacefully, and then I got out in the world, and it's kind of like weird. What do I mean by that? Like people are just acting weird. Like they're acting. I don't know, but they probably think I'm weird because I value kindness and I value respect and consideration and compassion. You know, it's funny. Like for us, like who practice like integrity and kindness and compassion and understanding, we look at others. Well, not really. Like I understand why they do it. And that's the thing that you need to understand. Um, but somebody who doesn't understand, they might be like, "Why is, judging a mean person for being mean?" Um, and they're probably judging you, like, "Oh, she's too nice." Like, look at her. you know, my whole thing is like you have to. That's why I want to say mindlessness or absent-mindedness is truly the way. I think that's the middle path. Because when you're absent-minded or mindless, you're just kind of allowing life to unfold and you're moving with it, you know. Not only that, you're less likely to judge something versus just allow it to be, which to me is the greatest form of reverence because you're not trying to control it or change it or manipulate it or you know um, reconfigure it. You're just allowing something to be in its natural form, wherever it's at on the scale of evolution or involution, you know. Um, yeah, and you just deal with it accordingly. Like for me, like if it feels good, I'll invest in it. And what I mean by it feels good, like I don't mean like it makes my heart and my soul happy. I'm not just trying to like feed a addiction so I can temporarily feel good in the moment. I mean, sometimes I do that, but I'm aware of it, and then I just kind of like pull myself out of it, you know. Um, oh, what was I saying? Mm. Oh yeah, if something feels right for you because there's like a resonance, you know, like it makes your system calm. It makes your heart happy. It makes your soul happy, you know. If there is any type of friction coming from within yourself via triggers, then that's something you need to work on. Like say something happens outside of you and then it makes you upset. It's not the other person, it's you because it's that feeling is being generated from you. Um, Now, if somebody else outside of you is doing something strange, that's probably a them thing. That's how you can differentiate, and that's why it's really important to sit with yourself so you can become very intimate with your own energy frequency. Like what are you emitting versus what is being emitted out, like externally. Does that make sense? Am I over? I don't think I'm overcomplicating this, man. This is just my language. Whatever. Um. So yesterday, I'm gonna read you what I wrote because immediately I needed to write these things down. Like after these occurrences, I woke up peaceful. I got in my car, it was peaceful. I got to work, it was peaceful until I encountered the first two people I encountered. And initially I got triggered, and I did notice that I allowed the interactions to lower my vibe. But then, because I was aware that I was allowing these people to lower, I was allowing other people's low vibe to lower my vibe. I immediately detached, sent the energy back, and like maintained my own energy. See, I falter too, man. I'm like trying to master this myself. But baby steps. Let's celebrate the baby steps, you know? Let's not be hard on ourselves and expect perfection or expect huge accolades too soon. Yeah, no, no, no. These are all like little micro steps towards success. And each step should be celebrated. But anyways, yeah. I'm just gonna read you what I wrote, and it might not make sense. Today started off strange. Not me. And I literally was like, not me. Because I think we have a tendency to blame ourselves. Like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Like, I guess that is kind of self-absorbed, you know, because instead of like thinking like, okay, what is going on with that person? You're like, what is wrong with me? What do I need to do? Did I do something wrong? And when in actuality, you didn't do shit. Like, you didn't. You should just be like, what's going on with them? You know, not like, and like for me, like I know a lot of people are like, they get really defensive, like, oh, why is that person like that? No, it just inquire like, what's going on with them? And like not immediately go to like being self-absorbed, like, oh, what did I do? Are they mad at me? What can I do to fix this? No, just especially if you've been working on yourself and working on your vibe and working on maintaining your frequency, it's definitely not a you thing at this point, okay? And like it's really weird because the way our dialogue is set up, it's like, you know, like narkies and empaths, the spiritual war has been so prevalent that, you know, we're basically like blame each other for things that we do to each other. It's like a blame game. And it's like, but it doesn't make sense because we're doing these things to each other. How about we just take accountability? Just go, okay. Like for me, I've always like blamed myself. And now I'm like, wait a second. I've been taking a lot of time to like maintain my vibe, to clear energetic debris, to, you know, foster like equilibrium within myself, to become very aware of my energy and what's not my energy and what I like and what I don't like. Okay, I've put a lot of time. I mean, I've invested a lot of time and awareness and attention into these things. So when I go out into the world, knowing my vibe, my frequency, and maintaining it, at this point, I have taken accountability for my participation in any interaction. And if there is any discrepancy, it's not me, it's you. And I'm not blaming you, I'm just calling a spade a spade. Obviously, you don't know how to regulate yourself, and obviously, you're looking for someone else to regulate you, and obviously, you lose your shit really easily. And that's not a me thing, that's a you thing. And I'm not gonna let you blame me or like throw that on me, or like I'm not gonna allow you to siphon my energy so that you can feel better about yourself while I be meek and small on the sidelines. No, I'm starting to. I used to be like, what is that? The side character in everyone's story. Now I'm gonna be the main character in my own story, as you should. For far too long, we've been on the sidelines, letting people harvest our energy and siphon it, you know, and like, oh, but I love you, so I will let you do this to me without an equal energetic exchange. So yeah, you can drink. No, 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 no. We're not doing that anymore. Okay, and we're not gonna be on the sidelines. Oh, we're gonna be the fucking main character of our own stories, and we're going to like manage it accordingly. You know, we're gonna be the CEO and the manager of our fucking own reality, and we're gonna demote, promote, um, whoever we deem worthy of our time and attention, which is very precious, by the way. I've been telling or saying that in the videos how like our most precious commodity is our energy. You know, because without the energy, you can't create and you can't manifest and you can't, you know, will things into existence. Honestly, you can't. And most people don't know how to do that. And because we've tricked ourselves into being the caretakers of humanity, yeah, Mother Teresa's, um, yeah, we've just been allowing, giving everyone else our fuel, our precious fuel, despite how they treat us, despite the exchange of reciprocity or non-reciprocity, and that's not cool. We've been neglecting ourselves, abusing ourselves, um, abandoning ourselves. What is that other one? Where you sabotage yourself. We've been sabotaging ourselves. And we've been playing the side character. Okay, now it's time to take the power back. And then gatekeep who has access to you or not. What you're willing to invest in or not. I've gone totally off subject, haven't I? I haven't. I probably didn't even finish reading this shit. Anyways, let me go. Let me go read this. And I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Why am I apologizing? Today started off strange. Not me. But the energies around me. I've noted that projections are more noticeable, and although they throw me off kilter initially, equilibrium is easier to attain. You know? So I'm still at that phase where it's just like it throws me off. I might get triggered slightly, but then it's easier for me to like regain my composure. I go, okay, wait a second. This isn't me. This is them. I'm not going to let this ruin my day. Let me return the energy to center. No, thank you. Return those energies back to center and then pull my power back. I maintain my frequency. And guess what? After I did that, almost miraculously, everything just flowed naturally and with ease. I went into my store. I opened it. Everything flowed. The store was beautiful. I encountered customers that were very kind and considerate, and it was like, and time just, there was no like glitches or like triggers or anything. I was just chilling in my own vibe, listening to bird song. That's what I'm saying. We need to maintain our own vibe and not let worldly things, events, and other people's energies bring us down. It's really hard to do. It's very difficult. I'm not even gonna lie. I almost feel like you have to hit 45 years old to really, really assimilate and get to a point where you can actually practice. It takes like 40 years of life experience in this particular avatar to really make leaps and strides and progress. I mean, I'm sure there's like more evolved children being born that already have it, they're like, I got it, But like, I've noted like a lot of like people in the 70s are like, I don't know. Never mind, scratch that. I don't want to create like division. To each their own. Anyways, sorry. What to do when encountering others' projections, non reaction, hyperpresence, and observational mode. What to do with the energy. Most people are reactive, but a person with a high level of self mastery will neutralize or return the energy to the recipient. Yeah, I immediately went into the store and wrote this because I needed to outlet it. And I'm sorry if the dialogue is complex. That's how I write. Anyways, these people are merely fragments of creation and an animated expression of the all. I noted that another person's attitude and my inability to raise the vibe of others caused disappointment within self. Because I was letting someone else dictate and orchestrate my vibe, no thank you. I don't know if this is making sense. Honestly, dude, when I make these videos and I post them, I don't even really watch them. Like, it takes me a while. Like, I'll just upload it and then maybe revisit it like some other time. And that's why, like, you'll notice like I privatize some of my videos because like after I go back and watch it, I'm like, whoa, why did I post this? This is horrible content. Like, I'm gonna totally like just privatize that. Anyways, took the authority of energy regulation back. If someone looks sad, that's their sadness and not your responsibility. Not your responsibility. Leave them be. If someone calls you crazy, then ask if they are crazy for expelling such a statement. If someone takes you for granted, ask why. This person probably resides on the lower dimensions of life and cannot recognize blessings amidst the fog of their own self-made chaos and confusion. What people think and feel are none of your business. It is merely a reflection of their own disposition. I maintain my spiritual hygiene and have spent most of my life allowing others to dictate my reality, taking on the projections and blame no more. Return to center. That which does not promote peace, wellness, balance will perish in my presence. I really like that last line that I wrote. That's a mantra in itself. That which does not promote peace, wellness, balance will perish in my presence. Like, seriously, if you're not, man, I'm not responsible for, I used to think I was responsible for everyone else's pain, and let's fix them, let's help them, let's ease their pain. And now I'm just like, nah, man, nobody, okay, seriously, keeping it real. Nobody was there when you were feeling pain, right? It's a lonely journey. You need to work things out on your own. As much as you'd want someone to join you or hold your hand as you walk your path of, like, self-knowing, no, you can't. They can't. It's a very solitary path. And like, if you know, if you've gone through dark nights of the soul, if you've gone through ego obliterations, you know what I mean? Like, nobody was there to help you when you're falling apart, when the pieces of self was all over the place, and you felt like alone and at your lowest. Nobody picked you up. You had to do it yourself. You had to muster the willpower, strength, courage to do it yourself. And you have to allow others to do it too. That's the only way. I was very interested in, honestly, for most of my life, I was very interested in finding a remedy for suffering. And the remedy for suffering is self-knowing, self-mastery. And you can't do the work for others. This is something they must do for themselves. I mean, you can obviously be like a guiding post along their path, wherever they are on the timeline of their journey. But as far as doing the work for them or holding their hand, you can't do that. This is all like a solitary thing. That's what I've learned. And that's why, like, monks and sages and those people who have renounced the world, they don't really say much. They're not going out and trying to preach. They're just, look at like a sadhu. They're just like sitting in silence. They're not like preaching. I had to go through the preachy phase, though. I think that is definitely a phase that we have to move through. Where you're trying to get everyone to see, like, hey man, if you do this, you'll like be a vegan, be vegetarian, sattvic food, sattvic music. Yeah, right now you're in a rajasic state of mind, and nobody want to fucking hear me. Nobody could understand me. Nobody cared, because they were doing their own thing. And that's the thing, you can't force people. You just gotta let them be. Just gotta let them learn on their own, in their own timing. And they need to, it's like I said, it's a solitary path. Like, they need to do it. You can't do it for them. As much as you'd want to, you can't. So if they're falling apart, you just gotta let them fall apart. I mean, you fell apart at one point, right? Nobody helped you. You had to literally fall apart so that a truer version of yourself could unfold. And that's all it is. I wish they would teach us this so it wouldn't be so dramatic when it happens, you know? We wouldn't lose our shit when stuff happens. But then I guess that would take away from the mystery. The mystery that it would, you know, then again, I don't need mystery. I, for one, don't like surprises. I would like someone to just tell me. Anyways, I think this is my sign to end the video because that noise will be competing with my voice, and no thank you. I hope you're having a blessed day. I hope you are taking care of yourself and giving yourself the time that is necessary to tap into your wellspring of peace and joy and love and grace and contentment. You know, you know, dude, life doesn't want you to struggle. Life wants you to flow. Life wants you to be at ease, at peace. You know, it's man who has constructed the tension machine. Like, do this, do that, strive for this, strive for that. If you're not doing this, then you're not that. Oh, if you're not that, then you're not successful. And if you're not successful, we don't care about you. Well, who are you? What are you? You know what I mean? It's, yeah. The society has created the monster. And for me, I'm like, monster. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't need you to dictate how I live my life. I'm just gonna be free. Free as a bird and chilling without all that weight and tension of what you're trying to put on me. Okay, this is definitely a sign. Take care of yourself. Blessings to one and all. Amen.